Alright, in this video, we're going to talk about how do we sketch the graph of the sinusoidal function. Now, sinusoidal function, if you do not see any particular requirement of sketch the sine function and cosine function, I like to stick with the sine function. It's classical, right? So that will be the good starting point. Now, during classroom time, we say that you have your own strategy. Follow what you feel is good, but I would like to share mine with you. I like to stay with the range first. That give me my minimum and maximum. Once I know those two values, I can get the D value, which will be my principal axis. With the maximum and minimum, I can also get the amplitude, how high and how low my curve can bounce back and forth, okay? Now, something special about the sketching, it is we get to use the period. And we got to divide the period in 4. Now, if you say that why is 4, when you take a look at my parents function of the sine function, you know that I can cut my function into 4 sections, and this will be the reason why we choose divide by 4. So the location, once you get this, the sine function at 0, start at the midpoint, and then go up to the maximum, back to the midpoint, go down to the minimum, and back to the midpoint. So that will be the cycle. Because we're given a domain, so we just need to keep going, repeating until we complete the entire domain. Then last step, we got to curve it nicely, make it look good. So let's go to the example 2. We are given the domain is from 0 to 360 degrees. The range, smile. The range tells me -5 is my minimum and 9 is my maximum. Awesome. So what is it tells us? We know that my D value is equal to my maximum, right? From the formula, maximum plus the minimum divided by 2. So I know that will be 2. The 2 is awesome. What is it tells us? That tells me I can have my principal axis at 2. So this will be something always be my favorite step 1. I have my principal axis. Very good. So this tells me D is equal to 2. Nice. What else? I also know from my maximum and minimum, I know my amplitude. So that is equal to my maximum minus my minimum over 2. So that will give me 7. How high, how low I can go. Up 7, down 7 units, okay? Now, what else we know about given the information is something we talk about that it is the period. So the period is 120. We are going to divide that by 4. That tells me 30 degrees, and that's how I'm going to count on my x-axis as my counting spot. So on my x-axis, I'm going to count 30 degrees. The next one will be 60 degrees. The next one will be 90 degrees. The next one will be 120 degrees. The next one will be 150 degrees. The next one will be 180 and 210 and 240. And 270 and 300 and 333, 330 degrees, and the last one will be 360 degrees. Done. That is my entire domain, okay? Therefore, we mentioned about location. Remember? Because I'm choosing the sine function. So the sine function, when it's at 0, I know that the location will be my 0 of my period, which will be 0. That is my mid. So this tells me I'm going to start at 0. That will be at my location at the midline. Here we go. And what happened when the location is 1/4 of the 120, right? So this is equal to 30 degrees. From the picture, you know that I'm going up to my maximum. So when it's 30, I know that will be my maximum. And what do we know about my maximum? 9. So that will be my maximum. And what happened to 120 divided by 1/2? That will be my 60, right? And that will back to my midline. So that will be at 60. I'm back to my midline. And what do you know about the 3/4 of the 120, aka 90, that will get me to my minimum going down. And what do I know about my minimum? -5. So this will be when it's 90, get to my minimum. And then one complete cycle, as you can see, when it's at what, 120, I'm back to my midline. So when it's 120, I'm back to my midline. So you kind of see the curve. This is one period, and you can see that, ooh la la, beautifully curved. Are we done yet? No, we have to keep repeating this cycle. So it's 120 is midline, 150 that will get to my maximum, and 180 back to my midline, 210 my minimum, and back to 240 degree it's my midline, 270 it's my maximum. Very good, very good. And 300 is my midline, and 330 is my minimum, and back to my 360, that it's my midline. So now you can see nicely continue. Ooh la la, I got my curve. I got my curve. And nicely done with my complete domain. Now, seeing is believing. You already know that if I look at my period starting from my midpoint to my midpoint, the midline, okay? So you do know that my period exactly 120. That is amazing. Beautifully done. Good. All right. In classroom, the example 3, we all got the perfect answer. Same thing with the range. You just need to activate your eagle eye. What will be my maximum? Look at the picture. Look at the picture, minimum, and then with the 2 number, you always will get the principle of the axis immediately and the M2, okay? And the period, you just need to use your eagle eye. Is that from midline to midline, the midpoint? Or from the maximum to maximum, or from the minimum to minimum? So this is the awesome answer. Good. All right. Have fun. Beautifully done, okay? Have a nice day. Thanks.